The first night of the 16th season of the Simulation Football League concludes with a trip to Sin City. Tonight, the Carolina Skyhawks head cross-country to take on the Fury and a matchup of two long-standing SFL teams that are looking to take the first step on the path back to the playoffs. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Silver State Stadium in Las Vegas, alongside producer extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, our statistician Stephen Hacker, and my partner Stephen Molinax. I'm Tim Hackett. You're watching the Simulation Football League live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us. A new season of the SFL begins tonight, Stephen. And for each of these teams tonight, a new era begins as well.
Well, Tim, it's a new season here in the SFL, and for those two franchises kicking off season 16, new quarterbacks under center. The veteran passer Xander Gold is now the man in Carolina, and the Skyhawks have handed him the keys to the league's #1 passing offense from last season. Gold rejoins his former teammate running back Logan Jack in the backfield, hoping to rekindle the magic they displayed during their days together in New Orleans. And under center for Vegas, the exciting rookie quarterback Colin Pierce, the young phenom with the laser rocket arm from San Jose, was stolen by the Fury in the second round of the draft this past offseason. Pierce is bookended by two 1,000-yard receivers from last season, John Blades and Mason Kirby. Throw in legendary tight end Tiberius Bovine, who came over from Arizona as a free agent, and you have the makings for an explosive fireworks show here in Sin City tonight.
Las Vegas will get the ball to start. A pair of new quarterbacks on each of these two teams that missed the playoffs in season 15, hoping to get on the right track to start season 16. Carolina wearing their road whites, Las Vegas wearing their road blacks. As we say, Vegas will get the ball to start first. Whistle Jones will kick off for the Skyhawks with Max Jackson, one of the best kick returners in the league, ready to return. And we are underway as we kick off season 16 of the SFL. Here goes Max Jackson up the middle of the field all the way out to the 27-yard line. And that is where the Fury will start off with the ball first and 10. You mentioned it, Stephen, a new look Las Vegas offense. They lost a handful of their figureheads, of course, led by quarterback Tom Rahman, who is now part of the ownership and executive committee with the brand new Los Angeles Lycans. So enter Colin Pierce, their second-round rookie quarterback from the San Jose flight, now making his professional SFL debut. Pierce will line up under center. Scott Johnson, the second-year tailback, is to his back. The give will be to Scott Johnson, and a huge hole up the middle for Johnson. And Johnson powers forward for a gain of 12 on the first play of the season.
Tim, I don't think you could start the season much better than that. Just a wide open hole made by that offensive line, and Scott Johnson just has daylight for days there in the middle of the field, goes untouched about 11 yards there before anybody's even puts a finger on it.
There's two big questions for this Fury team on offense this season, Stephen. Obviously, rookie quarterback at the helm, that gets a lot of attention, but Scott Johnson did not have a very good rookie season last year. Can he improve here in year two? Pierce's first SFL pass is caught by Scott Johnson. He goes out down the right sideline for a gain of about 4. So that's something that maybe they can try to do a little bit more this year, get Johnson involved in the passing game.
Yeah, and you know what? The brass there in Vegas agree with you. Actually, Scott Johnson switched his build a little bit from balance to finesse, worked on his speed and agility in the offseason. So we're going to see a different back here in Scott Johnson.
He was excellent in the minor leagues in his rookie season in the minors 2 minor league seasons ago, arguably the best running back in the minor leagues. That did not translate to pro success. Pierce's pass is caught on the right sideline for a gain of about 3. That's John Blades, the #1 receiver for the Fury. He has his first catch of the season.
And Blades actually on that nice little out route there, gets to the spot, able to hold up before he goes out of bounds, actually turns around and has to wait for the ball and gets it delivered by Pierce, who's got that, like we mentioned, that rocket arm, gets it over there to him and makes this a manageable third down.
You mentioned it at the top, Stephen. Vegas with 2,000-yard receivers last year, Blades and Mason Kirby. One wide receiver out to the top here, offset eye on 3rd and 3. The give to Johnson. Running room for Johnson off the left end. He gets the first down and a whole lot more. Stopped out there by number 97 for Carolina. That's Levant Irvine, the outside linebacker. But Vegas moves the sticks again.
We'll give that one to the offensive coordinator. The perfect play call off the left side of the line. Perfectly blocked. No one again touches Johnson. It's going to be a long day for this Carolina defense. They keep giving up runs like that.
20 yards on Johnson's first 2 carries of the season. Pierce over the middle has a man wide open down to the 27. Vegas is cooking on their first drive. Is that Blades again? You better believe it. This connection is living up to the billing so far.
Well, the Fury coming out with the Fury. They're passing, they're running, they're doing everything they want against this Skyhawks defense. What a great way to start their season here at home in Sin City.
Positive plays on their first 5 plays of the season. Chad Stinson made the stop on that last drive, or on that last play, rather. Inside the 30 now, Vegas on the opening drive of their season. 4-man front for Carolina. They send only 3. Pierce will check it down to Johnson, and 2 men meet him in the backfield. Levance Irvine was first there. Tristan Hatley followed. That was the first negative play of the season, and a TFL for the veteran corner, Tristan Hatley.
And that might be a symptom of having a rookie quarterback. Really didn't give Johnson any chance there of making a play. Probably should have held the ball just a little bit longer to see if his receivers could get open.
Here's a look at Davidson Joseph, another corner for this Carolina defense who might be asked to play a bigger role after the departure of Zane Doty. 2nd and 12, Pierce has all day. Pass to the near side is caught, and another first down for the Fury. That's A-star Miramontes, who's moved over to the tight end position from wide receiver this year. He's got a gain of 13.
Well, credit that first down to the offensive line, giving the rookie quarterback all the time in the world, and they need it for this kind of a route that's run. It takes a long time to develop, but he runs it, Miramontes, to perfection.
Davidson Joseph was on that stop. So Miramontes was the number 4 wide receiver for this Fury offense last year. They ran 4 wide receiver sets, about as much as any team in the SFL. Now they only have 3-star wide receivers and 2-star tight ends, including Tiberius Bovine, who you mentioned, and Miramontes, who you saw right there. From the 16-yard line, Pierce to the near side, caught again by John Blades, his 3rd catch of the opening drive.
And again, just a great play call. What they did, Tim, is they overloaded to the right side and then left the receiver wide open on the left on that little short out. And the defense had to shift over, and shifting over late caused that gain to happen.
One of the most underrated wide receivers in the SFL, if you ask me. John Blades had Tom Rahman throwing him the ball the last couple of years, and he's been a reliable target for Colin Pierce to start. 2nd down from the 12 over the middle. Pierce tried to dump it off to Johnson, and Johnson gets tagged. Pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, just something amiss about that play there. Just lost in the traffic, trying to nail him in between all those white jerseys. Just couldn't happen. Probably would have, again, like that rookie, maybe to hold the ball just a little bit longer to find someone open. But in a hurry, feeling the pressure probably a little bit there.
3rd down and 6 from the 12. They'll trip it out to the top of the screen and 1 receiver to the bottom. Johnson is alone in the backfield. Carolina will stack the box and send a couple of extra guys to the line. Pierce drops back, rifles it sideline, tipped and picked off by Tristan Hatley. This opening drive for Vegas is grounded by great defense from the Skyhawks. Hatley starts off the season with a takeaway.
Well, the defense needed something like this. A little corner route here in the corner of the end zone, just underthrown by the rookie quarterback. That requires a little bit more finesse, and they should have put it out just a little bit further for a receiver. But that tip pass, playing that volleyball drill in practice, has paid off.
This was something I was going to bring up at this point, Stephen. Vegas fans know this story by now, but last year they struggled to convert on 3rd down, and they struggled mightily to convert in the red zone. That crops up to hurt them again here. First drive on offense of the season for Carolina. Logan Jack gets the give. He goes up the middle, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain by Dave Drury, the Vegas backer.
Well, we mentioned that Carolina has the number 1 passing offense, or did this last season. And now they have the combo of Xander Gold and Logan Jack back together again. Played for New Orleans back in the day and did pretty well.
Let's see if that old connection proves fruitful here in season 16. Gold, with his first pass attempt as a Skyhawk, rifles it, and it's caught. 1st down and more for Heath McDaniel, the all-star wide receiver from a season ago.
Yeah, McDaniel Jr. just on the go route. And Gold not afraid to put it in between 3 defenders there. Beautiful pass. And if you can get it out quick enough there, the defense can't react quick enough.
Laced it past Tom Krieg, number 29 in the black and blue. The rookie number 2 corner, Merrick Itera, is now the number 1 corner on this team after the departure of Tom Rahman Jr. and Thomasina Rahman, Tom's 2 kids. Logan Jack with the give up the middle, and a big hole for Logan Jack. Gets 7, and Stephen, he was not the greatest rusher of the football last season, was kind of middle of the pack in most rushing categories, Logan Jack, but receiving the ball, he was better than literally anybody else.
You're right, a whopping 157 receptions, leading the entire league. That's everybody, wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, everybody. Jack had the most receptions last year.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous stat for a running back. They will go back to him on 2nd and 3, and this time the Fury are there. They stop Jack for a loss of 3.
Well, we haven't had a chance to talk about this Fury defensive line, but they are absolutely dominant when they want to be. Two double-digit sack defensive ends on that line in Rhett Sawyer and Tank Hunt, and they will get after it.
And that allowed Merrick Itera, the corner, to come in and lay the finishing blow on Logan Jack. This defensive line for Vegas, one of the best in the league. 3rd and 6, Gold under pressure, but he's got time. He throws it over the middle, has a man wide open. First down, Carolina out across midfield.
Well, that's one of the things we've been it's been a lot of the talk in the league are all these slant routes that we're seeing, and it's clear that offensive coordinators around the league love to get these receivers in the slot and take them right down and slant them in the middle of the field. Obviously, being really effective with that, and defensive coordinators are having to try to find ways to stop it.
Nice pickup on 3rd down for Sam Avalos, a gain of 17. He had only 14 catches last year in his rookie year, and he gets on the board here. Carolina was fantastic on 3rd down a season ago. Fresh set here for Golden. He feathers that pass through somehow. A gain of 8 and a nice link up to number 89, Harish Prasad, the longtime Skyhawk wideout.
Well, you talked about Gold. This is his 6th season in the SFL, showing a little veteran savvy there in the pocket. Just a slight move in the pocket allowed him just a little bit of extra time to find his receiver.
6th year in the SFL for Prasad as well. A North Carolinian now running the team based in his home state. 2nd and 2. Gold's pass is tipped this time. Nearly feathered it through again. But that time Tom Craig got his hands on it and brings up 3rd down.
And that, again, is that same play we saw earlier in this series with Heath McDaniel Jr. on the go route. And Gold with the quick release, but this time the defense gets the better of it. Able to get, looks like a paw or a shoulder pad or something on the ball there, but knocks it down. Yep, he got his paw up there.
Nearly picked off on the tip drill by Nicky Colantrelli. That would have been a nice little tit for tat, right? After Carolina got a tip drill pick on their side, but Colantrelli couldn't haul it in. So that brings up 3rd and 2. Where do you go here? Is this the time to get Jack involved in the pass game?
That could be an option, but with 4 wide, you got to think maybe a slant route down the middle again.
3rd and 2, and Xander Gold will line up under center. 4 wides, as you say, and Jack is the tailback. Quick drop for Gold. Has a man wide open, easy. First down for Carolina. It's Prasad once again, and the Skyhawks are inside the 30. Stopped by Itera.
Look at me. Look at me, Tim, acting like Tony Romo out there, calling it.
You're
Come
back,
on, guys,
Steven.
Give it to me.
Mullen action is back. He's got his first prediction of the season locked in. Many more of those to come, I'm sure. The former offensive guru, Stephen Mullinax, is back in the league. We miss you, man. We're happy to have you back. First down inside the 30 for Gold. Now he will fling it out to the near side. It's caught by the fullback, Freddie Greer, and he stood up after a gain of about 1 by Max Jackson, one of the best strong safeties in the SFL.
Well, Tim, I think we're looking at an offensive change in philosophy here. I mean, we talked about Logan Jack with 157 receptions last season, has not gotten the ball through the air yet in this one, and looking to just take advantage more of their 4 wide receivers.
This will be the 10th play of the drive for Carolina, and you're right. They have not targeted Jack once. Gold will go away from him again. Pass is bobbled and dropped on the near side by Tony Zoma. The fullback last year moved out to tight end this year for Carolina. Day Drury had the pressure. Zoma could not haul it in. 3rd down.
And I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that here early in this game. After all, it is the start of a new season. Carolina's coming into Las Vegas. There's got to be some nerves out there on the field.
Both teams had star fullbacks last season. Neither team does this season, so Freddie Greer, one of the backups, in action on that first down play. 3rd down and 9, empty backfield for Gold. Rifles it over the middle, caught, and another first down for Carolina. Another 3rd down pickup. They were one of the best at that last season. Heath McDaniel Jr. hauls it in. It's a gain of 14 and a first down.
Well, I think he had more wide open receivers, but he really just focused on getting it to McDaniel Jr. here. And again, a sea of black and purple, able to pull that in. And it is, once again, that dreaded slant route. Fury are going to have to adjust to that.
McDaniel with another catch. Prasad has had a couple of catches. Jack has had a couple of nice runs. The Skyhawks have spread it out here on their first drive of the season, and they are now into the red zone. Can they convert where the Fury could not? 1st and 10 from the 15. Gold directly under center again, sees pressure, shakes out of it, fires near side, tipped and incomplete, out of the hands of Heath McDaniel. He got popped at the top of that route, and Chris Magel, the first-round pick, was in the area.
Yeah, they tell you on defense, you got to run through the defender if you're going to make the tackle, not to make the tackle. I think we saw a perfect example of that as a defender really pushed through the receiver, making that a very, very difficult catch and ended up in the drop.
Stephen, pair of rookies on the coverage there, Krieg and Magel, 29 and 34. Now 2nd and 10 from the 15. Gold under pressure again, floats it, tipped and dropped and incomplete once again. That also could have been picked by a Fury secondary member. Prasad was on the target. That brings up 3rd down.
Well, we're seeing it with both of these defenses. As we get closer and closer to the end zone, these defenses compress, and it's just harder and harder to find those open lanes for the quarterback. So routes that were open earlier in the series, we see those lanes are closing.
You mentioned it, but 59% on 3rd down. The conversion rate last season for Carolina, 4th best in the league. They've been excellent on 3rd down, perfect so far on this drive. They need 10 to move the sticks here, 15 for the end zone. Gold's pass is tipped and incomplete again. He had Prasad streaking for the end zone. Instead, it's tipped away by Nicky Colantrelli. That brings up 4th down.
Well, the experienced veteran Gold makes the same mistake as the rookie Colin Pierce made by not throwing that ball far enough into the corner. He was shorted it, and as we saw as a result of the play, that ball gets tipped and almost intercepted.
Carolina converted their first 3 3rd down opportunities on this drive. Not that time, and that brings out Whistle Jones, the 3rd-year kicker who was nearly perfect a season ago. His first field goal attempt of the season is good from 31, and Carolina strikes first on the road.
Well, he had the leg and the compass there for that one, able to put that one through straight and true. And not surprising for a kicker, as you mentioned, nearly perfect. I believe missed, only 1 field goal attempt last year, 29 of 30.
Right, you are one of the best, actually, hit percentage among kickers that were not perfect. It was a great season for kickers across the SFL last year, season 15. Jones only missed 1, and he's 1 to the good here. 15 plays, 65 yards, capped off by that 31-yard field goal from Whistle Jones, and Carolina does capitalize on their red zone opportunity. Jones will now kick it off to Max Jackson, as we said, the best kick returner arguably in the SFL last season. He gets Vegas out to the 25. So you've gotten to see this somewhat new look Vegas offense for one drive, Steven. It came up empty thanks to the tip drill interception in the red zone, in the end zone from Colin Pierce. But so far, they got a little bit of good, some good from Pierce, some good from Scott Johnson, and hopefully something to build on for this Vegas team. 1st and 10 now from the 25 on the 2nd drive of the season for the Fury. Here goes Johnson, runs into his own man, but he's still able to pick up 7 as he stretches out to the right side.
Well, starts out similar to the last series, but I really think, the first part of this first quarter here, almost we've got about 2 minutes left here, it's been really about the defenses. The offenses have been doing what they want to do really between the 20s, but once they get squeezed into that red zone, the defenses have stepped up.
2nd down and 3 as Vegas embarks on their 2nd drive of the season behind 3-0 here with less than 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Offset eye again for Colin Pierce. Straight drop back under pressure. Tries to check it down, and he throws the pass into the body of a defensive lineman. And Shravan Prasad, the middle linebacker, is in on the hurry.
Yeah, and I think that was actually a designed play. It was going to be a screen to the running back. But what happened is Prasad was just too fast off the line, beat his man too quickly, gave the quarterback absolutely no time to get the ball away.
One of a couple of all-stars from the end of season 15 on this Skyhawk roster, Shravan Prasad, Harish's brother, in his 6th season now as the captain of the Skyhawk defense, the middle linebacker. On 3rd down, the pass from Pierce is bobbled and dropped once again. Blades was in the area, Doug Britton was in the area, and another 3rd down conversion attempt goes by the wayside for the Fury.
Well, you're doing your rookie quarterback no favors by dropping the ball for him, but again, I thought we would see a little bit more of this, as the nerves certainly have to be getting out, to everyone, including myself, coming back fresh to this new season, kind of feel those nerves, those jitters a little bit. And we've seen a couple drop passes here in the first quarter. I think we could chalk it up to that.
Yeah, it's everyone's got a little bit of those nerves coming in for game 1 of season 16, 12 games in this season. Just like last year, the punt is away from Dustin McCrack, who's also playing his first game in quite a while. Sam Avalos on the return, and he gets just a couple. So Carolina back on offense after a little bit of an up and down season last year, and they finished 5-7, but none of their wins were over playoff teams, and they lost in weeks 10 and 11 to Houston and Vancouver, 2 teams that did make the playoffs, and that pretty much all but eliminated them from playoff contention. But they were in the mix there until week 10, Those 2 losses kind of spelled the end of any playoff hopes for them last season. They're hoping to start off on a better foot here. Here's the first pass caught by Logan Jack after he led the league in receptions last season, and he picks up 8.
Yeah, and that is definitely a design screenplay there for Jack. Now getting him going as a receiver. And actually, Jack is too quick on this play. If he holds up just a little bit, maybe he can get his blocker in front of him, outruns his blocker, and ends up getting tackled a little bit shorter, I think, than he could have been.
We don't exactly track yards after the catch here in the SFL, Steven, but more than just the pure volume, the pure number of catches that Logan Jack got last year, what stood out to me watching Skyhawk games was his yards after catch. He makes things happen because almost all the time his receptions are those screens or those quick running back outs, and he turns those into 6 or 7 yard gains almost all the time. It's insane. They give to him here, and Jack breaks up the right sideline. A huge gain for Logan Jack out towards the Vegas 40-yard line.
Well, we talked about his display of speed on the screen. How about just as a running back? Look at how quickly he gets past the line of scrimmage, and it's just an absolute great play call and great blocking there to set him free on the outside.
Colin Trelli finally brings him down after a huge gain of 17 for Logan Jack, longest running play of the game so far for Carolina. Like we said, I mean, Jack was a mid-table rusher, and about every rushing statistic set the world on fire, and just about every receiving statistic, but good start for him on the ground. Gold has all day. Pass to the top of the screen is caught for a first down by Harish Prasad, and a penalty flag comes in after it. Our first penalty of the game.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bang-bang play there. Let's see what the call is.
Our first look at R6-2 this season, everybody's favorite member of the SFL, and it will be a late hit on Merrick Itera, the #1 cornerback here for the Fury. You'll see the replay here as Prasad makes the catch, dives down to get it, and then Itera falls on top of him.
Yeah, Tim, I don't agree with that. I think he was reaching for the ball. I think he has a right to go after the ball just as much as the receiver there, and I think that was incidental.
I agree with you. I certainly can't disagree. He was trying to go after the ball, ends up falling on top of Prasad, a defenseless receiver, I guess, at that point. But either way, a free 15 for Carolina. Now first down inside the 15. They're in the red zone for the second time. Gold will check it down to Jack, and Jack dropped the ball, and it's picked off by the Fury. They're going back the other way. Jack is the only man that can stop him, and Jack does make the stop. A rare drop for Logan Jack, and the Fury have the ball across midfield. Day Drury made the play.
Amazing play here. Look at Drury across the field. Notice the ball's being bobbled, able to pick it up in perfect stride. And it's amazing for a linebacker to make that kind of play. Tim, I can't tell you how often those linebackers back there have a chance to pull down those interceptions and don't. Drury had 2 last season and has already got 1 now.
35-yard return, Stephen Hacker telling us. And that is something else I was going to bring up, Stephen, about Logan Jack's amazing season last year. We'll tell you about as we go along here. First down from across midfield for Colin Pierce. Carolina sends little pressure, and Pierce bullets it over the middle. Another piercing throw from Colin, and it's caught for a first down by Doug Britton and a gain of 14.
Well, going back to talk about what Jack has done, he led the SFL in reception, but he also led the SFL in targets. He was 157 for 161, so he didn't have many drops last season. Has a big one in this game.
You read my mind. That is exactly what I was going to bring up. Only 4 times when Sully Richardson targeted Logan Jack last year, a pass did not result in a catch. That time, Gold targets him. It results in a big interception. Done with 1 from Las Vegas. The Skyhawks lead 3-0 on the road. This is the Simulation Football League live on Twitch. Happy to have you here with us this evening alongside Stephen Molinax. It is Return to the SFL. I'm Tim Hackett. Stephen Hacker running the stats. Cameron Irvine running the show. Game number 6 of 6 here on this SFL Saturday. 6 more to come your way tomorrow across our network. Pierce's pass is caught and another gain of about 13. Top of the screen this time by John Blades.
I want to bring up really quickly John Bond, the owner of the Vegas Fury, turning 38 years old tonight. A win would be probably what he wants as a birthday present. We'll see if his team can give it to him.
I'm sure that is something that John Bond would love to receive for his birthday, and he and the rest of this Vegas front office staff have had to do a lot of work to reconfigure a lot of different elements of their team. Of course, every team in the SFL has to go through that every offseason, but a lot of key figures have left this organization. They've had to do a lot of work to replace them. From just outside the red zone, Pierce has all day. He'll check it down to Scott Johnson, and it's dropped once again. We've now seen a couple of drops across these two teams, and Amon Takes, the newest member of this Carolina linebacking core, knocks it away. Second down.
Tim, that was nearly deja vu there with a running back dropping, bobbling a pass, really, and giving the defense an opportunity. But man, Amon Takes, the playmaker himself. You can't just leave those kind of plays open for him.
I was thinking the same thing. That was very nearly the same play, same result, just with the jersey swapped. Takes did not have an interception last year playing for Portland. Pierce's pass is caught again to the top of the screen for a gain of 7 by John Blades. Or excuse me, that's Mason Kirby. We were wondering when we would see him in this game, Steven. 83, not 81. He makes his first catch of the season and a gain of 7.
And I can't tell you how much I love Mason Kirby. I don't know if many people know this, but Mason Kirby entered the league as a quarterback. That gives you the kind of idea of what kind of athlete we're talking about here. A former quarterback out there at 6'5", 223, now a 1,000-yard receiver from last season.
First time in his career that he went over 1,000 yards, and he finished at exactly 1,000 yards last year. 3rd and 3, Pierce will go back over the middle, and it's knocked away once again. The Skyhawk defense locks down in the red zone once again, and it's Monte Wyatt, the rookie free safety, that makes the play.
I actually think Pierce had Mason Kirby wide open on an out route that would have got the first down, but he remained focused there on that primary receiver and tried to squeeze it in. Those are the kind of rookie plays that you're going to have to expect. Little bumps in the road here in this first season.
So the Vegas drive stalls after the interception, and Otis Boudreau, the second-year kicker from Scenic Hickory, North Carolina, comes on. The hold from Cole Trickle, and Boudreau's kick is up and good, also from 31 yards. So Jones good from 31, Boudreau good from 31, and we are all tied up at 3 apiece early in the second quarter.
Tim, you get a feeling that the lid is going to come off of these offenses at some point. I mean, look, we're seeing great defensive play out there, but at points, these offenses have really done what they've wanted to up until having to score touchdowns.
That was an issue for Vegas all last season, like we said, scoring in the red zone. But to your point, I mean, neither of these two teams sported particularly great defenses a year ago. That's part of the reason why they both missed the playoffs. Is Sam Avalos on the return is going to be stopped up well short of the 20-yard line. Great coverage by the Fury. But, I mean, last year, the Fury allowed the 5th most points per game in the league at better than 27. Carolina allowed the 3rd most points per game in the league at better than 28. So, to your point, if neither of these two teams improved that part of their team in the offseason, then, yeah, you expect that these two offenses are going to start to blow the top off here pretty soon.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. They're going to have to replace some key members on both sides of the field. So, that's another factor as well.
Here goes Logan Jack, who's had a really strong game so far, and a huge hole for Logan Jack. Down the right sideline, he stopped up as he crosses midfield. A gain of better than 30 on the ground for Logan Jack. Stopped at the end of the run by Slyn Shady. Carolina across midfield on just one play.
Well, we talked about following his blockers, allowing his blockers to block for him, and there Jack does exactly that. Learning his lesson from a previous play, gets the block, and it springs him here for 30 yards.
34 yards officially, says Stephen Hacker, and the biggest play of the game on the ground from Carolina. Let's introduce you to the rest of the personnel like we like to do here in the SFL. You've gotten to meet most of them by now, but just to drive the point home, Xander Gold is the quarterback for the Skyhawks, his first year playing for the team from Raleigh, and his 6th year overall. Logan Jack is the tailback, and Gold will dish it out to Jack here. Jack is popped at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Tackled on the play by number 54 for Vegas. That is Rhett Sawyer, their star defensive end. More on him as we go along. The rest of the offense, the wide receivers, Harish Prasad, Heath McDaniel Jr., and Sam Avalos. The tight end is Tony Zoma, and the kicker is Whistle Jones. No star fullback, no stars on the offensive line for the Skyhawk contingent. 2nd down and 10 after that great play on 1st down. They'll give to Logan Jack here. One spin move, and Jack picks up a couple off the edge, taken down that time by Day Drury.
A little bit about Rhett Sawyer, please, because that previous play, how does a big guy, 6'5", 291, come off the end to make that play on the outside on one of the most elusive backs in the SFL? I mean, 18.5 sacks last season, 26 tackles for loss. We see why he makes those kind of plays.
Second in the league in sacks, tied for first in tackles for loss with the great Jeff Duffy. Fantastic season for Sawyer. 3rd and 8, pass to the near side is intercepted. One-on-one coverage, and Merrick Itera beats Harish Prasad. A takeaway for the Vegas defense, and the Fury take over from the 25.
Merrick Itera, a big-time defender in this league for a long time. You never want to target him. If it's possible, you want to ignore his side of the field one-on-one because he runs routes better than receivers, and he shows you that right there.
At 6 interceptions last year, now his 7th season in the SFL. The veteran corner from scenic O'Fallon, Missouri, with the 2nd interception of Xander Gold today. Pierce has also thrown one, so plenty of turnovers across the board from these two teams to start. Fury now with the ball, and another risky throw from Colin Pierce. That is batted to the ground by number 97, the linebacker Levant Irvine.
Well, these defenses have come to play tonight. I thought it was going to be an offensive fireworks show here, but it's been completely the opposite here in the first half. As we're seeing some standout defensive performances tonight.
I mean, one of my keys to the game in this game, Stephen, was if Vegas can win the turnover battle, you really think that they have the inside track to win this game. Carolina did not turn the ball over all that much last year, but Vegas was better at taking the ball away than just about any team in the SFL. Nice throw that time for Pearson, a gain of 16 over the middle. The Fury moved the chains on a nice link up down the center of the field. That's Doug Britton on the catch.
Well, talking about turnover differential, Carolina had a negative 11 last season, 27 turnovers to only 16 takeaways. So that's just that kind of imbalance is not going to help you out at all in the standings. So they need a better balance there for sure.
You're exactly right. And they had the 2nd worst turnover differential in the SFL, despite the fact that they really didn't turn the ball over all that much. That shows you how few takeaways they really got. Pierce almost hit as he throws, and he throws a risky pass into triple coverage, and it's knocked away by number 42, Davidson Joseph. Prasad applied the pressure. That was a risky throw off his back foot.
Yeah, and look, the pressure that the defensive line as well put on the quarterback. You see, anytime that especially a rookie quarterback is made uncomfortable, they will make some wild throws in this league. Certainly an example there.
Prasad has been a menace against this Vegas front so far today. They were not good at keeping Tom Rahman upright. They've not allowed a sack so far, but Pierce has seen a lot of pressure. 2nd down, Pierce is able to check it down to Scott Johnson. Johnson accelerates and picks up 7 before he's forced out of bounds by Davidson Joseph.
And Tim, I absolutely love those kind of plays. They're a relatively very safe pass for your rookie quarterback to make, very efficient. It's not going to get you the first down, but it's going to get you a lot closer, make this very manageable, opens up the playbook to all different kind of plays here when you only need to gain 3 yards as opposed to 7.
So now they do need to gain only 3 yards, and they've got 2 men in the backfield and Colin Pierce under center. Carolina shows blitz. They will only send 4. Pierce has time, throws over the middle, and the pass is dropped. I think that was in the feet of his intended receiver. There were 3 defenders there either way, and it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, but certainly something that the receiver should bring in. I mean, that appeared to be just another receiver failing his rookie quarterback on that one, and no reason that play shouldn't have been completed, really.
Vegas is now one of its first 5 third down conversion attempts. We mentioned it in passing, but last year the Fury on offense, dead last in the SFL. They converted just 40% of their third down opportunities. Stack that up against Carolina, who converted nearly 60%, one of the best marks in the league. Punts coming again from McCrack, and Avalos short on the return. His first year returning kicks. Carolina used a couple of different kick returners last year, and Avalos got the job as he was kind of promoted from number 4 wide receiver to number 3 in this offseason because of the departure of Shea Carroll. So now Avalos, the number 3 wide receiver and the de facto kick returner. So 7:14 left in the second quarter, 3 apiece in this first game of the season. These two teams trying to get on the right track back towards making the SFL playoffs. These two teams have been out of the playoffs for the last couple of years. They give to Logan Jack, runs into a wall of Fury defenders. A couple of different guys were there, spearheaded by defensive tackle A.K. Jones.
Well, so far, Xander Gold, 9 of 16, completing 56% of his passes, 2 interceptions. So not a banner day as of yet.
You know, look at Slyn Shady running away from the scene of the crime. Both of these two teams with number 99s that are their middle linebackers. That's unique, but they're both very good. Gold's pass is tipped away at a streaking Heath McDaniel, and that time Max Jackson was in the area. 3rd down.
Well, and these defenses just continue to surprise. I mean, they are just locking down both of these quarterbacks, and then suddenly, in that they know in that on the both first series by each of these teams, they relatively just pushed the ball down the field and did everything they wanted to. Now we're seeing the defenses adjust.
Neither quarterback has completed better than 55% of his passes here through a quarter and a half. 3rd and 11. Gold throws over the middle right into traffic, and it's picked off for a 3rd time. Vegas will set up inside the opposing 20-yard line. Another risky pass from Xander Gold, and Slyn Shady comes up with that one.
I can't, you know what it is? Oh, go ahead.
My fault, Steven. I got that wrong. It's 39, not 99. Merrick Itera has his 2nd interception of the game.
Yeah, and amazing. And it really went back to pressure on the quarterback. Again, making Xander Gold uncomfortable in the quarterback, making him move. It's throwing those passes are going in odd directions, and we're seeing a plethora of interceptions.
You mentioned it on an earlier drive. This Vegas front was excellent at drawing up pressure. They haven't gotten a sack so far, but the pressure forced that interception there. Vegas with the ball inside the red zone already. Pierce's pass is caught at the top of the screen by Mason Kirby, his 2nd grab in another gain of 7.
Well, you can feel it in the air. You know, the Fury desperately need to take advantage of this opportunity that Itera has given them. Got to splash this one into the end zone and take somewhat of a commanding lead in this low-scoring game.
Red zone inefficiency haunted the Fury last year. The give to Scott Johnson, and they will score this time. First touchdown of the game, first touchdown of the season for the Fury, and it's courtesy of the 2nd-year tailback, Scott Johnson.
We talked about it this offseason, invested in changing his game, didn't like what he did in his rookie season, wanted to perform better, and now it's paying off. Look at the move at the line of scrimmage to shift over to the hole, and then the power to make it through the defender. Really got a nose for the end zone there. Touchdown, Fury, and they needed it.
How about that crackdown block from the left tackle, number 66, Monroe Hutchins, that left the hole wide open for Scott Johnson to run through. And like we said, it was a tough season, tough rookie season last year for Johnson, the rookie last year from Annapolis, Maryland. Only 5 rushing touchdowns all season, one of the lowest totals in the SFL. But he is on the board here in his 2nd season. PAT is good from Otis Boudreau. And like you mentioned, Steven, that was a conscious decision from this Vegas coaching staff in the offseason for Scott Johnson to kind of change his build, change the literal makeup of his player, to try to get back to what made him so successful in the minor leagues. I mean, I know firsthand, I saw Johnson play 3 or 4 games in the minor leagues last calendar year, and he had 1 or 2 70-plus yard touchdown runs. He was unstoppable at some games, and last year averaged 3 yards per carry in his first year in the major leagues. So something clearly went wrong. The offensive line needed to help him out, no question about it, but there was something that went wrong, something that didn't translate from that minor league season to the major league season. Yeah, he's playing much better competition. No one denies that, but clearly something didn't go right, and it's been a really good start to year 2 so far.
Yeah, sometimes the answer is going back, going back to that previous build, going back to what works. And we're seeing the early results now.
It's been a strong start to the game for Scott Johnson, no question. Weird handoff from Gold, flies away from the scene of the crime, and his pass is dropped and nearly intercepted. Again, Tank Hudd applied the pressure. That play looked doomed from the start.
Yeah, that's the play action that the defense really didn't fall much for, but that doesn't mean the receiver wasn't wide open, had an opportunity to at least make the play, was one-on-one with the defender, but had his eyes on the defender, not the ball. We see yet another drop.
You're right, and Jack, after all of that, was wide open, and like we said, only 4 pass attempts from Sully Richardson to Logan Jack last year that did not result in a catch, and so far there have been a couple of passes intended for Jack in this game that have not resulted in catches. Gold bullets it, passes caught by Harish Prasad. That's a way to get back in the green. A big game for the veteran wideout, Colin Trelli with the stop.
Yeah, Prasad has been a star in this league for as long as he's been in, as you mentioned, 6 seasons. And here on the nice post route in the middle of the field, the defender just kind of overplays it a little bit. And Prasad, like a basketball player blocking out somebody for the rebound, blocks out the defender to bring that one in.
Gain of 22 for the 6th-year man from the state of North Carolina. He's now got 3 catches for 40 yards. Gold has completed 10 of his first 20 passes wearing the Skyhawk white. Another play action. He will now shovel it forward, and it's caught by Logan Jack. We saw this play a lot last year for Carolina and for a lot of other teams in the SFL as the year went on, and that time Vegas was ready for it. No gain.
Yeah, that did look a little weird there. We've seen a couple of weird looking plays here by Carolina. That looked like they wanted to do initially like a play action, and then it goes into the shovel pass, but no bueno in 2nd and 10.
A play action shovel pass. You were right. We have seen it all here in the SFL. Gold throws over the middle. Risky pass again. Dropped and nearly picked once again. Prasad was on the target. Slyn Shady, was on the coverage. And the veteran from England gets up waving his hands. 3rd down.
Yeah, we're continuing to see offenses want to attack with that quick slant route and trying to take advantage of a soft belly in the middle of this defense, but they have tightened up here, worked on their abs, and they are denying those passes now.
The real Slyn Shady standing up on that play. 3rd down and 10 from the Carolina 42. Gold under no pressure. Floats it down the right seam. The pass is caught by diving Heath McDaniel Jr. What a play. Reaches out to make the catch in front of Colantrelli and behind Tom Krieg. Carolina converts on 3rd down again.
Well, you see plays like that, and you're like, why don't they just run that every single time to just move down the field? Well, you know how that's opened up is they do attack the middle, they do attack the outsides, they try to make this defense question themselves, and that allows plays like that on the big post route to work.
Carolina now 3 of 7 on 3rd downs in this game. Vegas is 1 of 5, but they have a 7-point lead. Less than 5 to go. Gold floats it to the top of the screen, and it is caught but out of bounds by Heath McDaniel Jr. Tom Krieg on the coverage. Rookie corner on veteran wide receiver Heath McDaniel. He's now in his 7th season in the SFL. Krieg, obviously the rookie. You think that may be a mismatch in Carolina's favor in this game?
Yeah, you would think so. That experience would pay off, but there in that particular play didn't quite because he just ran out of territory and his momentum took him out of bounds.
Krieg was able to shadow him to the outside, no doubt. 2nd down and 10. They'll stack the box and they give on the stretch play to Logan Jack, and he's stopped at the line of scrimmage, or maybe even a half yard behind the line of scrimmage by Day Drury, who's had his fingerprints all over this game so far.
Well, we talk about experience. Day Drury there makes a nice one-on-one tackle. The running back actually put a real shifty move on there at the line of scrimmage, but Drury, not fooled by that, was able to extend and make the tackle anyway.
Team leader with 105 tackles in 12 games last season. Day Drury, 3rd and 10. Gold's pass caught again. Another diving catch, this time by Harish Prasad between the hash marks. Carolina will have 1st down inside the 12.
Well, they found something on these deep post routes right now, and these receivers are making plays for them on both sides. And Prasad lays out to bring that one in. That's commonplace for a star like him.
And that replay looked close, but yeah, he's one of the best wide receivers in the SFL, no question. A all-star in season 14, like we said, McDaniel an all-star last year, so Carolina with all-stars in back-to-back seasons, and another great catch from Harish Prasad. 1st down now from the 11, just outside of the goal-to-go situation. Pass is caught on the near side by number 81. That's Terry Savert, the backup tight end, and a gain of 3.
Well, Tim, now they're not going to be able to, Carolina's not going to be able to rely on those deep post routes here as the field is short, and they're going to have to get something more closer to inside, more maybe those slants, maybe those outs, and there we see one working there. But just for a gain of 3, they need to get the score here to tie this ball game up before halftime.
Carolina was excellent in the pass game last year as a team, middle of the pack in the run game as a team. Does that come back to bite them here in a red zone situation? We'll see. They have not scored yet, obviously. Gold will check it down to Logan Jack. Jack with plenty of daylight, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. That connection works. Gold to Jack. The old Pharaoh connection comes to play here for the Skyhawks. They're a PAT away from a tie.
Tim, look at this acceleration here. Able to gather himself, a 360 spin to catch the ball, and then just burst. Didn't hardly even need that block because he was already on the outside, and nobody was going to catch him.
That is what worked for Carolina so often last year, like we said, Stephen. That is just a basic play, if you will, that it works for them all over the field. At that time, it works for 6. 10-play, 74-yard scoring drive, and an 8-yard pass touchdown from Xander Gold to Logan Jack. Gold's first touchdown pass as a Skyhawk. Whistle Jones on for the PAT. Jamison Klein will hold, and Jones knocks it through. Carolina answers. They go down the field, 10 plays like we say. We've got a tie game with 3:14 left to play.
Well, we talked about Jack and Gold had played together before with the New Orleans Pharaohs back in season 12. Had one of the best seasons here in the SFL. Actually, the Pharaohs went 8-4, lost in the first round of the playoffs, but they averaged 32 points a game with Gold under center and Jack in the backfield. In fact, Gold had his best season 3,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. But the key, Tim, he was only sacked 13 times, a career low. So if that offensive line can give Gold the time, he can dissect you.
And that was not something that he was afforded a lot last year in Fort Worth. It seemed like a natural choice. You pluck a veteran in Xander Gold. He did not have a team after New Orleans relocated. Fort Worth needed a quarterback. They found Xander Gold, a fitting name for a team that wears the colors that the Fort Worth Toros do, and he was a great choice for them last year. Had an up and down season in Fort Worth, but they have their quarterback this year. Carolina needed one, and so here he comes to replace Sully Richardson, which may not be easy to do. A gain of 3 on the ground for Scott Johnson. Is Vegas now with the ball? Shravan Prasad with the tackle.
Well, then let's not forget. I mean, this was the #1 passing offense in the league last season, and he comes in to replace a great quarterback in Sully Richardson, and they hand him the keys to this Ferrari.
That is certainly great opportunity for Gold. And here's a huge run for Johnson, his best of the day. A big game-breaking run on the right sideline, all the way out towards midfield. A gain of 20+ for Scott Johnson.
Yeah, Tim, Scott's saying enough talk about that other side. Let's talk about me here. Hold my beer while I get 25 yards here on the carry, 25+ probably here. But Johnson, again, taking full advantage of the great blocking on the outside. We've seen both of these running backs display their speed in this game, and they've been breaking off some big runs.
A gain of 23 officially says the Stephen Hacker. It's the Hacker to you. And now here's the Scott Johnson. He runs right into the front of Carolina. A loss of 2 that time. The Skyhawks were ready, and Levant Irvine says, I see what you did on that last play. Not this time.
Yeah, and it's been a big back and forth battle here as we hit the 2-minute warning.
2 minutes left in the first half. Back and forth indeed. Las Vegas 10, Carolina 10. This is the Simulation Football League live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us. Game 6 of 6 here in week 1 of 12 in season 16 of the SFL. Tim Hackett and Stephen Mullinax here with you live. One other game in action, as you can see in the top left corner of the screen, live on LSN and also the For the Fans Facebook page and Twitch stream, Florida and Lone Star, as Pierce's pass is tipped again and somehow caught. How did Vegas turn that into a positive play through 2 defenders? John Blade swallows it in.
Hey, boys in the truck, we need a replay. There we go. We've got to see this again. I mean, it looked like a ho-hum play there, but it bounced off him. It bounced off a defender back to the receiver. Oh, boy, only in this league, Tim. I'm so glad football is back.
And we're glad to have you back. John Neville's, the middle linebacker, had it in his hands, and then it came out of his clutches and into the waiting arms of John Blades. I have never seen that happen in this league. 3rd and 4, Johnson on the carry, and he stopped 2 yards short of the sticks. Another great tackle by Shravan Prasad. Are we surprised? 4th down.
Well, I like the call. I mean, look, it's the exact same call that got them a touchdown. So why not trust Johnson? Seems to have the hot hand, but just a great defensive play to make it 4th down and 2. And a momentum swing possibly here, especially if Carolina can take advantage and put points on the board before halftime.
Vegas will have to punt from across midfield, but time is ticking away. Carolina has not used a timeout, and Vegas is going to let this tick down. 55 seconds left, and they can drop another 5 seconds off from here. Now 50 seconds left in the half, and McCrack will finally punt it away. 45 seconds left, and a high-hanging punt from McCrack, who's back in the SFL after a couple of seasons away, and the coverage team can't keep it out of the end zone. That bounced 2 or 3 times, Stephen, and Vegas not able to do the job on the other side of things. Carolina will start off from the 20.
Well, our stats guy, Stephen Hacker, with the note here that every Vegas punt has led to a Carolina interception. Ooh, so let's take a look and see if this falls in line with that, Mr. Romo.
They have 42 seconds left in the half, all 3 timeouts, and have to drive 80 yards for a touchdown. Wilson Jones has a pretty good leg, as we know, so maybe they'll get into field goal range as they check it down to Logan Jack. The old reliable bread and butter play is good for 6, but they'll let the clock continue to tick.
Yeah, it looks like they are absolutely no hurry here. They're going to settle most likely just to go into halftime tied. Let's start this thing over 0-0 and get out there and just restart this game.
Maybe they heard that stat that Stephen Hacker pulled up for us. They don't want to turn this into another interception, because I was going to ask you if you were surprised by this apparent conservative play call here from the Carolina offense. They will run it on 2nd and 4. Jack has nowhere to go. Forward progress will give them a gain of 1, and that is going to take us to halftime. Carolina had all 3 timeouts, had no intention of using it. Eric Davis makes his first tackle of the game, and that sends us to halftime. We're all square. Las Vegas 10, Carolina 10 at the first half break. Back and forth we go here in this first game of the season. Stephen, Carolina strikes first with the field goal from Whistle Jones. Vegas answers, then Vegas gets into the end zone courtesy of Scott Johnson. Carolina answers with a touchdown from their own running back, Logan Jack, and we're all tied at 10 apiece.
Yeah, and 4 interceptions in that first half, so really a tale of turnovers and defense, really, in my eyes. And the offenses at times did what they wanted to do, especially early in this game, but we saw the defenses tighten up, and it has become a defensive struggle here. Fully expect things to open up here in the second half.
Quickest halftime show in the history of the Simulation Football League there, and we are ready for the second half of action from Silver State Stadium in Sin City. Carolina will get the ball first to start the second half, and Sam Avalos gets out to the 22. Like we said earlier, one other game in action right now, live on LSN and also the For the Fans Facebook stream and their Twitch stream. Lone Star hosting Florida. You can catch that game with our friends Michael Trujillo and Benji Matson on the aforementioned networks. Currently, as you can see at the top of the screen, Lone Star has just added some more points. They are running it up on the Florida Storm now, 42-13 in the fourth quarter, as you can see in the top left of the screen. That game in action right now on LSN. Here from Sin City, Xander Gold in his first game as the Skyhawk quarterback will throw it to the left side, and Harish Prasad hauls in another one, a gain of 7.
Let's see which team comes fired up after what was probably the quickest halftime speech in the history of football.
Neither quarterback over 60% on completion percentage on his passes through the first half. It's not been a pretty day for either quarterback, but the running backs have been solid. They've had some good plays from their wide receivers, and here's another good play from Logan Jack, a huge gain from the now veteran running back. He goes up the left side and gets out to the 44.
Well, we're just seeing some impressive blocking taking place on the outside for both of these running backs, and then they're really demonstrating the speed that each one of them has to take advantage of that outside. And we've seen so many runs here that are just one tackle away from being a game-breaking play. Just can't seem to get past that last guy, but if one finally does, it could bust open this game.
Oh, we're through 2 quarters, but better late than never. We'll introduce you to the Vegas defense as we go along, as Gold attempts another shovel pass to Logan Jack, and just like the first time, that goes nowhere. They'll say less than nowhere, as Day Drury is going to get credit for a tackle for loss. Here's the Vegas defense on the line. Rhett Sawyer and Tank Cutter the ends. A.K. Jones, the second-year man on the inside. The linebackers, Day Drury, who you just saw, Slyn Shady, the Englishman, and Eric Davis. And in the secondary, Merrick Itera, the veteran, Tom Krieg, the rookie, are the corners. Nicky Colantrelli, Max Jackson, and Chris Magel are the safeties. Second down and 11 from the Carolina 43. They give again to Jack, and he's blown up by a pair of Fury defenders. Pile driving tackle, no gain at time number 54. Rhett Sawyer once again on the stop.
Well, you can just feel this defense zeroing in on the run game. They do not want Jack to beat them up the middle, whether that's going to be in a shovel pass or just running between the tackles. They've struggled on the outside, but they're controlling things on the end.
3rd and 11 on a long set here for Gold. Hit as he throws, lofts it down the left seam. It's tipped away. Carolina had a lot of success on plays like that in the first half, not this time, thanks to a big hit from the big defensive tackle, A.K. Jones.
Yeah, and chalk that up to pressure once again, right up the middle of the offensive line, and they just lost containment so fast that the quarterback had to get rid of that ball a tick early, and that just threw everything off.
This is going to be the first punt that we've seen from Carolina in a game where they've only scored 10 points. They did not punt at all in the first half. Kind of crazy how that works out. So our first look at Mike Johnson, the generic punter for the Skyhawks. Max Jackson on the return. He's very good at these, like we said. Carolina was ready for that one, and they did not let Jackson get much of anything. He had the 5th best punt return average in the SFL last year, the best kick return average at nearly 28.5 yards per return, also a kick return touchdown. So Jackson, one of the best in the business, no doubt about it. And he has a decent punt return there to set up Vegas 1st and 10 from their own 21. We'll go back and look at Carolina's drive summary as we go along here after their first punts of the game and, of course, of the season. 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. All tied at 10. Colin Pearson, his first game in the SFL. Quick drop. bombs it down the left sideline, has a man. It's caught by John Blades. Blades is behind the defense. Only one man could stop him, and he will take it to the house. A 79-yard touchdown link up from Colin Pierce to the veteran John Blades. Vegas takes the lead.
Tim, I told you this kid has an absolute cannon. Look at him uncork this ball and let loose. These are the kind of plays that he's absolutely able to make there. A bit of a sluggo route there by Blades there to the corner, and just the arm strength to get it out there. We've seen a lot of passes in this game, Tim, that have been too short there on those corner routes. Finally, we get one that's right on target, and it's by the kid, the rookie Colin Pierce.
First SFL touchdown pass for the rookie second-round pick from Colin Pierce. And like you said, Steven, I mean, just watching some of his games for the San Jose Flight this year, honestly, his numbers really weren't that great. But just seeing him play, seeing how some of the teams, talked and interacted with him off the field, it was clear to me that he was going to be one of the quarterbacks that was chosen in the draft this year. I had no idea what team would choose him as Boudreau knocks in the extra point to make it a 7-point game, but it was just clear to me that he was going to get a job here in the SFL as a quarterback. Now, just to drive my point home, actually technically set the record for lowest quarterback rating as a quarterback through the SFL minor leagues. Only 2 full seasons, but technically he has that little bit of infamy. But just aside from that, it was obvious to me watching him that he was going to be the second straight San Jose Flight quarterback to get drafted and be a starting quarterback here in the pros, following Ace Fennick, who, of course, had a really, really good season last year for Lone Star, and it looks like his sophomore season is off to a really good start as well. So imperfect debut so far for Colin Pierce, but if he can flash something like what he just did on that throw, then Vegas might have found a gem here in the second round.
Well, those are the kind of plays that is exactly the reason why this team took a chance on Colin Pierce. And yeah, you're right. I think a lot of times, though, when you're judging talent at the quarterback position, you have to factor in the coaching. You have to factor the players around him. How he handled diversity is an important part as well.
Jack will get the check down from Xander Gold. We said that this was really the play for Carolina last year in their 5-7 season. Colantrelli on the stop. Or actually, Chris Magel, on the stop, 34, and Jack is stopped for no gain.
Yeah, they're bread and butter, as you mentioned, but, everybody knows that. That's the thing, and so defenses can key up to try and stop that, and that gives Carolina a unique opportunity to find other places in their offense for them to go.
People even knew that. Other teams knew that about Carolina down the stretches. They get Rhett Sawyer to jump. They will go on the ground to Logan Jack, tries to crack outside, hits a couple of spin moves, gains about 5 on the ground. So what do you do here, Steven? It looks like an offside call for sure, if you ask me. Do you take the penalty?
Yeah, I do, and I take the free down, and I take the 5 yards and a little bit closer to that first down.
Fair enough. You wouldn't have to run the play, obviously, if you accept the penalty. So you get a free 5 yards. It is Rhett Sawyer who moves off sides. First accepted penalty against, we did see that late hit, I guess, against Merrick Itera. So second accepted penalty against the Fury of this game. We mentioned at the top of the show, Jack, first among running backs and first among all players in the SFL with 157 receptions last season, 810 yards, second among running backs. His Gold's pass is tipped, dropped, and nearly picked once again. We have seen this a lot in this game. Stephen Mullinax, Tom Krieg at the scene of the crime that time.
Well, it's an ace quads formation where they put the tight ends on the outsides and they run McDaniel out of the slot on a go route. And this is the third time we've seen it. It's worked once and failed twice. But hey, you know what? The name we haven't heard tonight, Tim, is Tiberius Bovine.
Yeah.
Interestingly, hasn't been part of the game plan here.
Yeah, one of the best pass catchers in the history of the SFL, playing now outside of the Arizona-Oklahoma City franchise for the first time ever for Vegas, and I don't even know that he's been targeted. 3rd down and 6 for Xander Gold from the twin back set. Fires near side through the hands of a receiver. More great coverage. McDaniel on the target. Krieg on the stop. 4th down.
Great play by Krieg there, but I'm not a big fan of throwing in front of the sticks on 3rd down. I think you got to, as a receiver, you got to know where you are on the field and be sure that you're past that first down marker, not relying on your receiver to have to make an extra play or be the defender to get that first down. So I just think an unfortunate play call there.
Remember, Carolina did not punt at all in the first half. All the times that they had the ball, 6 total possessions, no punts, and they have now punted on each of their first 2 possessions here in the second half. Max Jackson, we mentioned he's great at this. Nice shimmy shake, and he picks up 8 or 9 on that return. Carolina, actually it looks like Doug Britton was on that return. Either way, gain of about 8 on the return. And Carolina in the first half, Steven, so they made a field goal on their first possession and then an interception on their next 3 possessions, then the touchdown pass from Gold to Logan Jack, then the end of the half. So that was their first half drive summary. And in this half, 2 possessions, 2 punts.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how you can come into someone's house as an away game and win that way, but they're still in it.
Johnson to give on first down. Nice cutback move from Scott Johnson to give himself some extra space, and he picks up 5. It looked like he could have been hit in the backfield, but Scott Johnson making something out of nothing.
Then he just looks like a different player. He's just reacting differently, quicker, faster, really giving Logan Jack a run for his money here as the best running back in this game, and I don't think we could say that last year.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right. 3rd fewest rushing yards among all running backs last year, just over 600. Pierce's pass is caught near side, first down, and a gain of about 7 through the air for Mason Kirby. I think every catch that he has had has gone for 7 yards, Steven. It's ridiculous. He's consistent.
Well, you know what? We had a nickname for him. We called him the GOAT because on our team, he was just really an MVP on the field and off the field, willing to do anything and everything that a team needed, and had no ego about him. So we called him the GOAT, the greatest of all time, because he was so humble.
I have just been told that it is Doug Britton returning all the kicks for Vegas this season. Max Jackson got that honor last year and was great, like we said. As Johnson gets the pass, that is a Carolina-esque play, and the Skyhawks were ready for it. He gets plastered for a loss of 2.
And you know what? It's just the fury here, just an opportunity right here, right at this point in the game. They can really crack this thing open here with a score. Need to convert this.
From right on the midfield line, the give to Johnson, and he's blown up once again. Another great tackle by this Carolina defense. That's John Nevels, who came over in the offseason from Florida, only played half the year as the middle linebacker for the Florida Storm. I thought he was great. I saw him in person a couple of times last year, Steven. He comes over to add some depth to this very deep Carolina linebacking core. He makes the play there on second down.
Well, one of 4-star linebackers for them, so you obviously see what they want to do defensively. It involves that front 7 heavily.
Very unique situation as Pierce throws down the left sideline. The receiver was tackled to the ground on the outside line. Davidson Joseph on the coverage. Another defender was there as well. Blades on the target. That brings up 4th down.
Well, I mean, do you expect anything else in this game? It's just such great defensive plays of happening, and an opportunity here to really bust open the game offensively. They can't take advantage of it here at the midfield point here, and Carolina's going to get this ball again.
We've had 10 unofficial pass deflections and 4 total interceptions so far in this game through 2.5 quarters. A lot of great defense on display. The kick away from McCrack, and this time Vegas is able to slide and make the play. They down it at the 4-yard line. They were not able to cap that off the last time that McCrack was on. This time they do. Carolina will start from their own 4.
Well, excellent special teams play there, and almost a goof. We've seen so many times. How many times have we seen it, Tim, where a guy is out there on special teams, has an opportunity to stop the ball, and either runs into the end zone or puts his feet out there and touches the ball at the same time? I mean, those kind of mental mistakes cost you games.
First down from inside the 5. Stretch play, Jack on the give, and he stopped at the 1, nearly a safety. Another tackle on the goal line by Rhett Sawyer.
If you're going to run to that side of the defensive line where Rhett Sawyer is standing there, you better be darn sure you got somebody to block him, because he will absolutely wreck your day.
And Rhett almost did wreck that play. Somehow Jack able to stay out of the end zone. Gold will now throw it, and he goes down. Vegas gets their safety after all. That does not happen often. Gold could not get the shovel pass away, and he's taken down for a safety by Byron Lewis, the backup defensive tackle.
I guess that shovel play is not going to be in the playbook next week, but that was just absolutely destroyed by the defensive line. I mean, absolutely busted through, a quick penetration, able to really mess that play up before it even had an opportunity to work, and it hasn't really worked all night.
A.K. Jones is massive, 6'5", 310, and somehow Vegas found the only second-string player that is bigger than him. 6'7", 312, Byron Lewis beats the single team. The right guard, Wesley, joins as A.K. Jones saw a double team on the other side. No surprise. And Lewis was able to beat the one-on-one and take down Xander Gold for the 2 points. And Vegas will now get the ball on the free kick from their own 40-yard line. That could be the turning point in this game, Steven, now a 2-possession game.
I agree with you. Let's remember where it all started, a great special teams play, that if they flub, they don't get that opportunity.
Vegas converts on the opposing red zone, and now Johnson will get the toss out to the right side, spins through the first wave, and picks up 2. Let's introduce you to the rest of the Carolina defense. Better late than never, like we said. The defensive line, haven't heard anything from them so far. Christopher Colon and Cliff Grizzly on the outside, Phil Hall on the inside. The linebackers, there's 4 of them, like Steven said, a rare setup. Levant Irvine and Amon Takes on the outside, Shravan Prasad and John Nevels on the interior. 2nd down and 8. 3 men in the backfield here for Vegas. Carolina shows blitz. They will send 5 as Pierce checks it down to Johnson. Johnson accelerates down the right sideline, breaks the second wave, and gets out across the 40 down to the 37-yard line. Finally stopped there by Kane Vasquez, and a big gain through the air for Johnson.
Yeah, Tim, this is a play that shouldn't have worked as well as it did, and the only reason that it did is because of the speed of Scott Johnson. Here, just able to really out-accelerate the defender out of this strong power eye that you typically run out of. They run a little swing pass here, and it's only because of Johnson's extra speed and agility that he's able to make a big play work.
Christopher Colon, you saw him there, big number 93 in the all-whites. He's a solid defensive end, but he was not able to catch up to Johnson. They sent in that delayed blitz, that 5th man, like we pointed out, and they were not able to get home on Pierce. That left a lot of real estate on the right side for Scott Johnson to exploit. A big gain. Now 1st down from the 37 on the ground. They go to Johnson, lowers the shoulder, and he's blown up at the line of gain by number 39. That's Mark Martin, the backup corner. Pickup of 9 on the ground at that time for Scott Johnson. His big day continues.
Well, the Fury, you can feel it. They smell blood in the water. They smell it, man. They feel like they can get a stranglehold of this game right here, right now, and you can feel that energy.
That was a gain of 9. The previous play was a gain of 22 for number 22. 2nd down and inches from the 27. Vegas taking its time. They get a Skyhawk to jump. Johnson's going to get the 1st down anyway. A nice pickup again for Johnson. Taken down by John Nevels. Vegas can do no wrong on offense right now.
Yeah, and Carolina is crumbling a bit. They're feeling the pressure here. Remember, we're playing in Vegas. This is an away game for Carolina. Tough to start your season on the road week 1. You don't have anything to plan against. You only have last season to look at, and this is clearly a different Vegas offense than the one that we saw last year.
Cliff Grizzly is charged with that infraction. His first SFL game, the first round pick, I should say, for Carolina to try to fill a void on the defensive end. He was excellent in the minor leagues for the Albuquerque Adams and has not had an impact here so far in his SFL debut. Free 5 yards and a 1st down for Vegas. 1st down from just outside the red zone. Pass is caught on a bullet from Colin Pierce and a pickup of 16 on the right side for looks like there it is. There he is, the living legend, Tiberius Bovine, with his first catch with his new team.
And honestly, I think every single receiver was wide open on this play. I mean, at Carolina's secondary, they just had the wrong play call for whatever that was, the offensive play call that was made. And I think they're just struggling right now to try and this crowd and this energy and going through all the turnovers and things, it's all starting to stack up against them.
First catch with his new team for Bovine. They move the chains. 1st down from the 6-yard line. Pierce's pass is knocked away once again. Another risky play, and that brings up 2nd down.
Yeah, and I think the nerves a little bit there, but also just nice defensive play here. Able to put the paw out just barely enough to get that ball, or at least disrupt it. It should have been an easier pass than it was. Should have been thrown a little bit quicker, and maybe could have avoided that defensive pressure.
He was trying to get John Blades, and Davidson Joseph had the coverage from behind. Monte Wyatt applied the pressure from the front. The rookie's 2nd-round pick free safety makes the play. 2nd down now from the 6. Can Vegas convert from the red zone? Something that plagued them all last season, now with a 9-point lead. Pierce has a man wide open, but he airmails him. There is a receiver right there in the corner. It was John Blades, their number 1 target, but Pierce couldn't find him. 3rd down.
Absolutely wide open in the corner of the end zone. We saw a similar play in this game where it was tipped and intercepted. Maybe that's why the rookie threw it a little bit further now than he should have, trying to overcompensate. As an older man, I've done the same. I understand, brother.
I hear you. He tried to overcorrect from his previous mistake. It does not serve him well. 3rd down and goal now from the 6. From the I formation, straight drop back from Pierce. Has Johnson available. Now he'll throw it to the corner of the end zone. That was nearly caught. I think it was caught, but out of bounds is Mason Kirby. How did they complete that pass? But Kirby was not in bounds, so it's all for naught.
Well, a lot of faith in your rookie to say, okay, let's do that exact same thing again. And they're going to challenge. They're going to think that he was in bounds. Let's see here.
It sure looked like a clean catch from Kirby. It's tough to see with the black jerseys in the dark end zone, but yeah, the Vegas is going to challenge this, Steven. Let's see our first challenge of the season.
Well, boys in the truck, let's see if we can get some good angle on this here. Probably tough to see his feet.
What a catch.
I think he might have got it. Both his little toesies in there.
Wow. Remember, 1 foot down in the SFL. That's the rule. Kirby reaches back. Here comes R62 with the determination.
No.
They'll say the call stands. Wow, I'm stunned by that. No touchdown.
Well, you know what? You just can't leave it in the hands of the refs. That's the thing. You got to make those plays. You got to make them obvious, or you're going to end up like this, having to kick, or at least attempt to kick a field goal.
I'll tell you what, Steven, I saw 13 SFL games last season. I don't think I got a single overturn stand call right. I think I was wrong every single time.
Thank goodness you're up here with me.
I'm 0 for 1 here to start season 16, so some things never change. Otis Boutreau makes his second field goal of the game. This is a chip shot from 23, and Vegas extends the lead out to 12.
They'd be calling you R62A. Making those kind of calls.
They don't want me to do that. I struggle enough with these kinds of calls. Sixth game out of 6 here on this SFL Saturday. 6 more games coming your way tomorrow all day across the SFL family of networks. One other game in action right now, Lone Star against Florida. Time ticking down in the fourth quarter live on LSN and the FTF Facebook and Twitch streams. Lone Star all over Florida, and that one a little bit surprising. You can see there at the top of the screen, 42-16, the glory on top. A matchup of 2 playoff teams. Well, I spoke too soon. 45-16 now as the glory of hitting yet another field goal to extend this lead even further. 2 playoff teams from a season ago in that game, 2 non-playoff teams from last season in this game. Both teams are trying to end a somewhat long playoff drought. Carolina has not been in the postseason since season 11. Vegas has not been there since season 12. Xander Gold now trailing by 12, bombs it down the right side, and the pass is behind Heath McDaniel. Max Jackson on the coverage.
I'll tell you exactly what went wrong on that play. It was a corner route, and what happens is that the receiver ran the route, but he ran out of territory, so he skirts up the field, and there's a little bit of a disconnect between the quarterback and himself, so the quarterback throws it shorter than he should because he's anticipating him just to complete that corner route. Instead, the receiver cut up the field, and that's why we see the disconnect.
Been an imperfect debut in Carolina white for Xander Gold, a quarterback rating unofficially of 40, and he's completed less than 60% of his passes. Second down, throw it to the top of the formation, this time at a comeback route. Prasad makes the catch. They'll only give him one. Blanket coverage the whole way by Merrick Itera.
Yeah, blanket is the word. He was right on top of him the entire way, and we've seen Itera run routes again better than the receivers, and he ran the exact route. I mean, that's what makes him one of the best, if not the best, cornerback in the entire league.
How about that battle, though? Itera has won sometimes. Prasad has won sometimes. That has been a great individual tussle in this game. 39, Gold floats it over the middle. Picked off again. Max Jackson this time. The 4th giveaway from Xander Gold in this game. And Vegas will take over inside the 40.
Well, no, I don't think anybody in the league has the kind of combo that Vegas has there in the backfield with Itera and Jackson, and they've been doing it for a long time. Jackson in his 7th season shows no sign of wear, as this guy is just an absolute playmaker. 8 interceptions this past season, and he's, like we've mentioned, he's a great kick returner to boot, so an all-around great player.
7th-year man from Chattanooga, an all-star last season. Like you said, the 8 interceptions, one of the best in the SFL, and he's back at it here in season 16, now his 6th season with the Fury. Fake handoff from Pearson. He goes down. Carolina finally gets some pressure. This defensive line was good last year. They have been quiet so far today. The first sack from either side, that comes courtesy of Cliff Grizzly, the rookie.
Yeah, and the rookie gets his first one, the first of many if we're going to be based on his career with the Adams there, and just a dominant defender selected in the first round, 8th overall, showing you why right there.
He was one of the best defensive players in the minor leagues last season, no doubt about it. Loss of 4. Pierce, risky pass, bullets it, tipped, and nearly caught on the deflection by Cain Vasquez. We haven't gotten to talk about him at all yet, Steven. Their big offseason acquisition, Cain Vasquez, coming in to try to shore up a depleted Carolina secondary because a lot of the changes in their offseason. I think one of the best free agent acquisitions in the SFL. He makes the play that time.
Undoubtedly. I mean, 115 tackles, 8 interceptions last season for Tulsa. Able to get somebody like that and add them to your secondary just improves it tremendously.
Top 20 in the league in tackles, top 10 in interceptions a season ago. 3rd and 14. Deep drop for Pierce. Sees pressure and he goes down. Just a 3-man rush from the Skyhawks, and it gets home Christopher Colon, the other defensive end. So 2 sacks on 3 plays.
Well, that's where you got to take the rookie to the side. You got to make him aware. Hey, you got to have that clock in your head. You know, if you can't find anybody open at a certain point, you got to either run out of the pocket or throw it away, and live to play another day and not take hits like that.
Very high angled kick from McCrack, and this time Avalos will not be able to return it. It falls out of bounds at the 11, so a net of just 36 from McCrack that time, and an interesting choice. He looked like he just kind of drop kicked that one rather than punting it, but either way, Carolina will have the ball deep in its own territory for the second straight drive. Remember, the last time Carolina had the ball, it resulted, or 2 times ago, I should say, it resulted in a safety.
And the last time they had the ball resulted in an interception.
Right you are. It has kind of been an unraveling here for Carolina, especially in the second half. They have not scored, of course. And now they will go on the shovel pass. It works for the first time in this game. They were 0 for 2, and that time Logan Jack is able to pick up 5 before he's taken down by Eric Davis.
Can we go back, Tim, and talk about that interception by Max Jackson? That interception actually ties him for 10th all-time in the SFL in interceptions with Giovanni Bolt and Brady Clark with 44.
2 of the other best defensive backs in the history of this SFL, no question. 1 more quarter left to play. Vegas on top, 22-10 in the season opener. This is the Simulation Football League live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us. Tim Hackett and Stephen Molinax in the booth. Stephen Hacker and Delaney Nash in the stat truck, as we like to say, and Cameron Irvine back in the SFL studio. Happy to have you with us here on this Saturday night. Xander Gold under pressure, floats it over the middle, passes caught, first down for Carolina as they try to right the ship. They had control for a time there in the first half. The third quarter was all Vegas. They were outscored by 12, helped in large part by that safety and that interception from Max Jackson. Carolina now trying to steady the ship a little bit here, and Harish Prasad delivers.
Yeah, and I think it's still too early to go away from the running game. If they can still take advantage of that, but it's getting to be about that time, Tim. They're going to be doing a pass heavy to try to get back into this game.
And this is their number 1 play, the check down on the running back toss from the quarterback, whoever that might be. This year it's Gold, and Logan Jack delivers with a huge gain.
Yeah, what a luxury to have a guy like that in your backfield. You know, a guy that you could literally line up in the slot if you wanted to, and probably would be one of the better slot receivers in the SFL, and you just happen to have him as a running back.
Set career highs in all receiving stats, even though he set career lows in all rushing stats. But even though both of those things are true, his receiving numbers were so good that he was up over 500 total yards of offense from last year to the year prior. Jack was just so much better than he's ever been receiving the ball that last year, and that time Day Drury was ready. It works on the previous play, not that time. Another TFL for Drury and a loss of 1.
Yeah, if I was Las Vegas, I'd just say Drury, just shadow Jack. You know, everywhere Jack goes, you go. And you can clearly see he has the speed to do so. But now lining up a bit outside, it looks like he's going to cover the slot and tight end.
Stephen Hacker telling us 3 straight tackles now for Dave Drury, who was one of the best in that category last season. They'll check it down again for Jack, and again, Jack is hit in the backfield for a loss of 2. This time it's the other linebacker, Eric Davis, on the stop. He really didn't play all that much last season, Stephen, in his first year in the SFL. The second-year man from Cleveland has made a couple of impact plays in this game.
And you need big plays from those guys at certain times of this game. You can't always rely on your star players in order to win in this league. You need some of those secondary guys or unknown stars to step up.
3rd and 13, Gold's pass. There were a couple of bodies wearing both kinds of jerseys on that play, and Gold's pass sails to the turf. We mentioned how good Carolina was on 3rd downs all last season. They started off really strong, but they have really tailed off. They're now 5 of 11 on 3rd downs unofficially. I mean, Vegas is a putrid 1 of 9, but they have converted otherwise, and Carolina cannot convert that time, and they'll have to punt it away.
Well, as a former defensive coordinator and now current offensive coordinator in this league, I can tell you the week one is always the biggest worry and the biggest challenge. It's just you just don't have any tape or film of what these new guys are like, and we don't have any preseason to pull from. A terrific play.
Wow, here goes Doug Britton. We mentioned that it wasn't the veteran Max Jackson returning kicks. It's Doug Britton who's returning the punts in this game. Kind of a surprise to us, but maybe that's why the fullback from last year converted to wide receiver. That's his natural position here in his second season in the major leagues. And what a return that time for Doug Britton, all the way out to the Vegas 40.
I had an opportunity to talk to Tony Pollard, actually interview him, the Dallas Cowboys kick returner. He said the number one thing that you need as a returner is bravery. You've got to be brave. And making those kind of spin moves with all those tacklers right there in front of you, that's certainly brave.
No kidding. And Doug Britton's going to get a chance to show what he can do. Here's Pierce trying to answer it. He floats it up, and it's taken away by Carolina. Another interception. Welcome to the Skyhawks. Cain Vasquez, his first takeaway with his new team.
And that's why you bring the superstar here to make plays just like that. And what a key moment in this game to make this play. Things were looking really bad for Carolina, especially if Vegas was able to score again. I think they put this game away. Instead, Vasquez gives them hope.
Tough to disagree. If Vegas gets points of any kind, that is at least still a two-score game. A touchdown may seal it at this point, but you're right. Cain Vasquez maybe keeps this game alive for the Skyhawks. Less than 9 to go. The handoff to Logan Jack. Big hole for Jack up the middle. Breaks away from a tackle, then is sent backwards. They're going to give him forward progress to where the first hit was made. I thought he was going to go down at the 44, Steven. He ended up going down at about the 48, but they're going to give him forward progress to the 44. It's a gain of 11.
Like a pinball in a pinball machine, just bouncing off defenders. They're trying to just for every inch. I mean, this is a game of inches, and this is a guy, that's going for everything he got. And I'm really happy to see that Carolina has not abandoned the running game.
Welcome those of you who might be joining us after the end of that Lone Star Florida game. Tim Hackett and Stephen Mullinax here with you live from Las Vegas. 10-10 game at the half. Third quarter was all Vegas. Carolina trying to rally here in the fourth. Jack again on the give, and he picks up 3. Sam Avalos there was trying to lead the way, but Vegas saw through it, and Slyn Shady was there on the stop.
Yeah, one block away from really busting that wide open. But Jack looking just a little bit tired here after that previous run. Bouncing off those defenders, probably a little fatigued from that.
Veteran linebacker now, Slyn Shady, 7th season in the SFL. He's played for a couple of teams. This is his 2nd season playing for the Fury, the Stoke-on-Trent native, as Gold's pass is dropped by Tony Zoma and picked off once again. A full handful of giveaways from Xander Gold in his first season with his new team, and Yuri Boyka, the backup corner, has that one. Vegas takes the ball away up by 12.
Well, we talked about some of these unknown players here, some of the support players needing to make big plays, and that might be the biggest of the game and puts Vegas now clearly in the driver's seat.
Mentioned that Vegas, their defense struggled at times last year. Their offense really lagged behind their defense. But last year when these two teams played early on in the season, they played in week 2 last year. Vegas picked off Sully Richardson 4 times, and Vegas won that game going away at the end of the day. They'll check it down to Scott Johnson. He picks up about 5, but Vegas picked off Richardson 4 times, but Richardson no longer on this team. Tom Rahman and Thomasina Rahman, the Tom Rahman Sr.'s 2 kids, had 2 of those 4 picks. They're no longer on this team. So many of those playmakers that made the plays that changed the game last season aren't here. And Thomasina Rahman had a pick 6 in that game. All 3 of those guys are now playing for the LA Lycans, and still a lot of takeaways for this Vegas defense, this time against Xander Gold, as Johnson picks up 3, stopped for a short game by Phil Hall. And it doesn't really matter. It's still been the same old story, different personnel, same story.
Well, I mean, you can put different players in these uniforms, but sometimes when these colors are put on, they just have similar results, and we're seeing that tonight. This is starting to have a hint of a rivalry here.
These two teams have been in the league for quite some time, as they'll give to Johnson again. He runs into Christopher Colon this time. They go to Johnson on 3 straight plays. Colon battens down the hatches and stops Johnson 1 yard short.
Well, back-to-back series, this defense for Carolina has held fast and giving their offense an opportunity to get them back into this game at critical junctures here in the fourth quarter. You got to hand it to this Carolina defense.
Carolina has really scuffled on offense after halftime, but their defense has given them a chance now on back-to-back possessions thanks to that stop from Cologne. They will take over on the 16. Here's their second half drive summary for Carolina. Punt, safety, interception, punt, interception. It has just been, I mean, frankly, anemic for this Skyhawk offense, which looked really promising at stretches in the first half. Gold had some moments. Logan Jack had more than a couple of moments. Harish Prasad had a couple of moments. But after halftime, the Skyhawk offense has really not had a lot to do.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't know if they have the plays in the playbook to get them back in it, but they certainly have a playmaker in the backfield here.
And Logan Jack was their playmaker pretty much all last season. He picks up 3 that time. And, I mean, to your point, Steven, that's really the guy that you think that Carolina's going to have to ride either on the run game or passes out of the backfield if they're going to try to come back in this game. That was their key to success. So new signal caller, but we'll see if the plan of action changes here in a new season for Carolina as they try to make back to the playoffs for the first time since season 11. Down goes Gold, the first sack of the game for this Vegas defense. They were one of the best at that last season, and this time it's number 92, Byron Lewis. That's technically his second sack because he had that safety. This time it's his first in the actual field of play. The number 2 defensive tackle with another takedown of Xander Gold.
Well, it's that ace quads formation once again, sending Heath McDaniel Jr. there on the 9 route, just trying to get him wide open. And when he is covered, the quarterback doesn't know where to go, and he ends up flat on his back.
Tough to remember that safety has a sack because it's just so rare in this league. Either way, 3rd and 11. Gold floats it to the right side, has a man wide open. First down, needed 11. Heath McDaniel gives him 12, and a crucial conversion for Carolina.
That might be worth a challenge. I don't know, this late in the game. Maybe Vegas feels like they're pretty comfortable, but yeah, I don't know. That was very, very close there. They're going to give it to him, and Carolina's going to continue their drive.
Vegas already 0 for 1 on their challenges. You got to look at Byron Lewis, who has 2 sacks. We mentioned this front for Vegas was excellent in the sack department last year. Rhett Sawyer had 18.5. Tank Hutt had 10, and A.K. Jones on the interior had 4. Tonight, Byron Lewis has the 2 for Vegas. They'll check it down to Jack. Jack accelerates right sideline, and he picks up 9. Shot stopped just short of the sticks by Krieg.
Yeah, great play, great play call at the moment. Gets them a lot of yardage.
Carolina hustles back up to the line. 4:40 to go in the 4th. Deep drop for Gold. Floats it out to the right side again for Jack. Another big hole for Logan Jack out to the 47. That play works on back-to-back plays.
And I think they're going to keep calling it. I mean, they've got a favorable defensive front in front of them. They're going to take advantage of this screen.
It's worked almost all the time last season. They will run it again. 3 plays in a row, and this time Vegas was ready. 3rd time was not the charm. They'll give Jack 1 on the play.
Yeah, you got to give, though, the benefit of the doubt to Jack to make a play here big at the end of the game.
They run it again. They will. Same play for the 4th time. Jack trying to accelerate, spins away from 1 tackle, leaves a man in his dust, and somehow picks up 5. That play could have been doomed, but instead Jack makes it happen. They will run back up again. 3rd and 4 from the Vegas 47-yard line. Do they dare run it again? They do. Gold floats it to Jack. Jack trying to get to the sticks, and he does. Rhett Sawyer hustles over to make the tackle once again, but Carolina converts.
I think he's losing some gas here.
I don't know how he couldn't be. They have run him ragged on this drive alone. Will they do it again? You bet. This time Gold's passes behind, and Jack's going the wrong way. It's a loss of 9. What a stop by Vegas.
They've got to get out of this play. They've got to call a timeout.
This is unbelievable. Carolina now going the wrong way after they had a lot of success. Do they do it again? They do. Jack has room this time, has a block from a pulling guard. Might have been the right tackle, Seth Wagner, and he gets 5, does Logan Jack, and the clock will finally stop at 3:13.
I'm tired, Tim. I don't know about you, but man, just watching it over and over again made me. I need to catch a breath here. Let me sit on the sidelines and get a Gatorade, coach.
15 catches now in this game for Logan Jack. Remember,
10 of them on that drive.
Okay, exactly. I mean, what? They just ran that play 7 times in a row. That's not even an exaggeration. 3rd down and 14. This could be the game for Carolina. Gold's pass is caught, and a nice pickup. They needed 14. Sam Avalos gives them 10. That makes this 4th down conversion manageable.
Surprised that they don't go no huddle there, but on 4th down, I guess they just want to be sure they get the right play call in. But yeah, just happy to see something other than a screen.
Get a stick from Eric Davis. Nice look at that replay. Less than 3 minutes to go. Avalos had only 14 catches last season, has a couple here tonight. 2 for 27 in his first game as a sophomore. 4th down and 4. Now this might be the game. Less than 3 to go. Gold under pressure. Shuffles up, throws, passes, dropped, incomplete. He was going for number 81, Terry Severt, the backup tight end. Knocked away by number 46, Chuck Warsaw, the backup safety. Another unheralded player makes a play. Steven, your key to success. Vegas forces a turnover on downs.
Well, you have one unheralded player doesn't make a play and one that does, and it's ironic the game comes down to that matchup, two of these support players, one coming through for their team here at home and one probably not here for the one for the away team here.
2:41 left in regulation. Carolina has all 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning with which to work. Scott Johnson gets the give. He's stopped at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Nice tackle by Levant Irvine and company, and Vegas will let the clock run. They could let it run all the way down to the 2-minute warning if they wanted.
Yeah, and the Skyhawks, look, the defense has had a valiant effort tonight, giving their offense opportunity after opportunity in this fourth quarter to get back in the game. And the Vegas defense has just come to play tonight, played really well. Looks like they're going to be limiting Carolina to 10 points, which was going to be tremendous considering this was the number 1 passing offense in the league last season.
They have picked off Colin Pierce twice. Is there another turnover still to come to keep Carolina in this game? The 2-minute warning has arrived. Only 2 minutes left in regulation. Las Vegas 22, Carolina 10. This is the Simulation Football League live on Twitch. Happy to have you with us. Final game out of 6 tonight. 6 more coming your way tomorrow, starting bright and early, about 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central, and then 6 games across our Simulation Football League network. Here in Las Vegas, Tim Hackman and Stephen Mullinax in the booth. Stephen Hacker and Delaney Nash doing the stats, and Cameron Irvine running the show. 2 minutes left in regulation. Stretch handoff. Scott Johnson is blown up behind the line of scrimmage by Levant Irvine, one of the best pass rushing linebackers in the SFL. Had 14 tackles for loss a season ago. Big time stop for him there, 3rd down.
Well, nobody's told this defense that this game is over. As long as there's time on the clock, they're putting the volume up to 11 and playing with everything they've got. They're leaving it on the field tonight.
Carolina uses its first timeout. Remember, it's 2-score game here the rest of the way. Less than 2 minutes to go. Does Vegas dare throw it to try to pick it up? They will try. Pierce throws, has a man there, and it's caught for a 1st down. What a play. Not the best throw we've seen tonight from Pierce, but good enough. John Blades hauls it in. Big surprise. Vegas moves the chains.
And the veteran receiver lays out, takes the hit, to the helmet for his rookie quarterback. Tim, we haven't talked about this enough, but what would a win do for this young guy's confidence going into this new season? You're a rookie, got a lot of questions about what happened during the minor leagues, and you come out here and you pull out a terrific home win.
We talk about it a lot in the SFL, right? Rookie quarterbacks have not a great track record in the SFL. It is hard to acclimate to the pro ranks, as it always is, as Johnson has a big hole and picks up 7. Tackled from behind by John Nevels, though gave him 8. But some rookie quarterbacks do better than others. A lot of it obviously depends on the team they land in, right? I mean, you know this well from your days running defenses and running offenses here in the SFL, Steven. But even just last year, some rookie quarterbacks had a lot more success than others. We saw JQ make his debut earlier today for Tulsa, replacing Deacon Nickens. Not a great day for him, and not a perfect day today for Colin Pierce, but a decent debut, I think you can say. Second down, and Pierce will take a knee. Carolina only has 1 timeout left.
Yeah, and you got to think the confidence level just to give that to the kid here this early on into the season. It's just going to bode well for what he has in front of him. And we're talking about other quarterbacks and having tough rookie seasons, tough first years. It's also about where you land, Tim. What the support system is like. What do you surround the kid with? And here in Vegas, it's a unique situation with 2 1,000-yard receivers from just last season. You've got Bovine, one of the best free agent signings here as a tight end, even though he didn't do too much tonight. I'm sure that we'll see him being utilized more as the season goes on. But yeah, it's about the situation too. And when you got a defense that's coming away with all of these turnovers, giving you opportunity after opportunity. Just a great place for any rookie quarterback, I think.
The defense, with all those takeaways that you mentioned, I mean, that kept them in games a lot of times last year. I mean, Vegas obviously only finished 4-8, well outside the scope of the playoffs. They're about to beat Carolina for the 3rd time in 4 opportunities lifetime, but those takeaways that you mentioned kept them in games last season. That was the biggest reason for their success in my mind today. They were not perfect converting on 3rd downs, quite poor in that regard, I guess, which was an issue for them last year. Not perfect converting in the red zone, which was a huge issue for them last year, but the defense locked it down. And unless Carolina does something here with 26 seconds left, they will have pitched a shutout in the second half. They really locked it down in the second half to try to preserve this lead.
Yeah, and I think if you're Carolina and you do come out of Vegas without the win, you're kicking yourself because there seemed to be an opportunity here to pull out this victory, and how important it would be to go on the road in your first game. What a statement it would be for your franchise to get that win.
Play action here from Xander Gold under pressure, shakes out of the first hit and then goes down at the 3-yard line. Generous forward progress. He was nearly hit for his second safety. A.K. Jones mops him up.
Well, that's the danger of the play action. If the defense doesn't fall for it, your quarterback goes down.
10 seconds left again on the play action. Gold under pressure, floats it down the right sideline. That's caught by Heath McDaniel. Nice pickup to save face a little bit. They'll give him 7, and time for Carolina to run one more play.
And this defense is just not letting up. They don't want them to score any more points or have an opportunity to put any more points on the board. They want this 10-point win as a statement, to hold a team like Carolina to 10 points for the rest of the league.
Last year, Carolina quarterback Sully Richardson led the SFL in passing yards. Best season of his career in an all-star berth. It was always going to be tough for Xander Gold to follow with that. He floats up another risky pass. It's batted down once again. Las Vegas picks off Xander Gold 5 times in his Carolina debut. Vegas outscores the Skyhawks 12-0 in the second half, and Las Vegas wins over Carolina for the 3rd time in their 4-game series. The final from Sin City tonight, 22-10. The Fury prevailed.
Yeah, and really a defensive back and forth for much of this game. And I know we saw some explosive plays like the one that you're seeing right now from John Blades and helping his rookie quarterback out. But really, it was a tale of defenses here. I think they both come out. I think people who are watching this and teams that are scouting this, they have something to fear from both teams' defense. We saw some really standout performances, all those interceptions that you mentioned. We expect that from guys like Max Jackson and Merrick Itera, and to live up to their name tonight gave them more opportunities and the opportunity to win this ball game. And Carolina, their defense, especially there at the end, would not let up. Gave their offense plenty of opportunities to get back in it, but those turnovers, like the one we're seeing right there by Max Jackson, that made him ties him for 10th most here in SFL history. Those kind of plays and those kind of mistakes haunted them tonight in a game that I think was really winnable for Carolina as we were tied 10-10 at halftime.
Yeah, you're right. 10-10 at the half. Vegas outscores Carolina 12-0 in the third quarter alone. Pitches a shutout in the second half. And I think those first 2 highlights that you just saw here in this post-game montage that we always get here in the SFL, that big touchdown bomb from Colin Pierce to John Blade's 79-yard touchdown strike on their first play of that drive, and then later that safety coming from backup tackle Byron Lewis. Obviously 9 total points in those 2 plays alone for Vegas. Those were the 2 biggest game-changing plays. If you're writing the story of the game, those are the 2 plays that made this win happen for Vegas, if you ask me.
Yeah, and if we're trying to guess here, maybe who the MVP of the game might be.
I was going to ask you.
Let me ask you first. Who do you think it's going to be?
Oh, man, I don't know. I'll go with John Blades.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the rookie quarterback. Let's see who they pick here. It is John Blades. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It's rare that I get those right, but the 144 yards of the touchdown, that stood out to me for sure.
Yeah, and I flipped it on you there a little bit, if you don't mind. But what a great competitive game.
Stephen Molinax, your final thoughts.
Yeah, again, I love what happened defensively out here. I think it bodes well for both teams moving forward. Carolina kicking themselves just a little bit, had an opportunity in this game, but for Vegas, what a way to win your home opener, and what a confidence boost for your rookie quarterback.
Vegas wins it 22-10, and a birthday present on the evening for John Bond. For all of us here at the Simulation Football League, for our producer Cameron Irvine, statistician Stephen Hacker, and Delaney Nash, and my partner Stephen Molinax. It was a pleasure, sir. Thanks so much for tagging along with me tonight. I've been Tim Hackett. We'll see you next time. 6 more SFL games coming your way, starting bright and early tomorrow across our network. We'll see you next time. Until then, so long.